Hello friends, in this video tutorial, we will see how to implement Google reCAPTCHA validation in PHP Codeigniter framework. Here you can learn how can we step-by-step implement Google new reCAPTCHA for form data validation and reduce span entry in our Codeigniter web application. This is because currently security is most important for every web development project, which has give access to user for enter their data via form filling. Then it can hack our web application by using curl request. For reduce the risk of hack our web application, here we have to use Google reCAPTCHA application, which has been provide best security for prevent CURL request. So these things we will learn under this tutorial. Now let's start discussing this topic. So this is our testing database, and in which we have sample data table, with 5 table column like ID, first name, last name, age and gender. Under this table, we will store user data, after user has fulfilled CAPTCHA verification process. If user verify Google CAPTCHA, then only form data will be stored under this table. Before starting this topic, first we want to create Google reCAPTCHA site key and secret key. So here we have already logged into Google account. For generate reCAPTCHA site key and secret key, we have to go this link, on which we can see this screen. So, in label field, we have enter local host. From this name we can identify Google reCAPTCHA key. Here we can select 2 type of reCAPTCHA. So from this 2 option, we have select reCAPTCHA version 2. After select this option, then on web page, we can see another 3 option. So from this option, we have select I am not robot checkbox option. And in domain field, we have enter local host. This is because we want to test key in my local host. Here you have to define domain name for which you have to use this reCAPTCHA. If you have not defined domain name, and start using this key, then you will receive error. And lastly we have click on register button. After click on register button, here we can see site key and secret key. We will use both key in our Codeigniter coding part. Now we have go to editor, and this is our Codeigniter framework working folder. First we want to make database connection. So, we have go to config folder, and from that folder, we have open database.php file. Under this file, we have to define host name set to localhost, user name set to root, password set to blank, and database name set to testing. After define these details, it will make database connection in Codeigniter framework. Here in Codeigniter framework, we have already make Captcha.php controller class in controllers folder, Captcha model.php class in models folder, and Captcha.php under views folder. First we have open Captcha.php controller class, and here we have write public function construct function. This function will be called when object of this class has been created. Under this function, we have write parent class with construct function, then function will call controller class construct function. Below this, we have write $this with load object with library method, and under this, we have write session, so it will load session library. After this, we have write $this with load object with model method, and under this, we have write Captcha model. So this method will load Captcha model class, when object of this class has been created. Now, here we have make index method. This is root method of this class, so when we have type Captcha, after base URL then it will call this method. Under this method, we have write $this with load object with view method, and under this, we have write CAPTCHA, so it will load HTML content of view folder captcha.php file in browser. After this, we have go to views folder and open captcha.php file. Under this file, we have already included jQuery library, Bootstrap library and Google reCAPTCHA library link also. In this file, we have to make form, so here we have write form tag with method is equal to post, action is equal to base URL function, with CAPTCHA class, with validate method, so it will submit form data to validate method of CAPTCHA class. Under this form, for enter first name details, we have write input type is equal to text, name is equal to first name. Same way for enter last name details, we have write input type is equal to text, and name is equal to last name. For enter age details, we have write input type is equal to text, and name is equal to age. And for enter gender details, we have write input type is equal to text, and name is equal to gender. For Google reCAPTCHA box, here we have write division tag, with class is equal to reCAPTCHA, and after this, we have write data site key attribute is equal to this site key, which have created at the time of Google reCAPTCHA registration. And for submit form data, we have write input type is equal to submit, name is equal to send, and value is equal to send. So when we have click on this button, then form data will be submitted to validate method of CAPTCHA controller class. Next, we have go to captcha.php controller class, and here we have make validate method. Under this method, we have write $CAPTCHA response variable is equal to trim function, and under this function, we have write $this with input object with post method. And under this method, we have write reCAPTCHA response variable. This variable will be generated by Google reCAPTCHA widget. So here we have store Google reCAPTCHA response has been stored under this $CAPTCHA response variable. Below this, we have write if statement, and under condition, we have write $CAPTCHA response variable value is not equal to blank. So suppose above condition false, then it will execute else block of code, and here we have write $this with session class object with set flash data method with 2 argument. In first argument, we have write message, and in second argument, we have write message like validation failed, try again. So here we have store validation message under this session variable. And below this, we have write redirect method, and under this we have write CAPTCHA, so this method will redirect page to index method of CAPTCHA class. But suppose above if condition true, that means this variable has some value, then it will execute if block of code, and here we have write $key secret variable is equal to this key, which has been generated at the time of CAPTCHA registration. This is secret key, which has been used at server-side code. After this, we have write $check is equal to array. In first key, we have write secret, and in value we have write $key secret variable value. and in second key, we have write response, and in value we have write input post variable, G reCAPTCHA response variable. So here we have store credential under this $check variable. Now we have write $start process variable is equal to curl init function. This function will initialize a curl session. Below this, we have write curl set option function with 3 argument. This function will set an option for curl transfer. So in first argument, we have write $start process variable. In second argument, we have write curl option URL, and in third we have write this URL. So it will send curl request to this URL for verify reCAPTCHA verification. After this, we have write curl set option function, and in first argument, we have write $start process variable. In second argument, we have write curl option post, and in third argument, we have write true. This is for send HTTP post request. For curl post variable, here we have write curl set option function, and under first argument, we have write $start process variable. In second argument, we have write curl option post fields. And in third argument, we have write HTTP build query function with $check variable. This function will generate URL encoded query string and send with HTTP post request. Next, for stop to verifying SSL peer certificate, we have write curl set option function, and in first argument, we have write $start process variable. In second argument, we have write curl option SSL verify peer option, and in third argument, we have write false. For define return transfer as string data type, here again we have write curl set option function, and in first argument, we have write $start process variable. In second argument, we have write curl option return transfer option, and in last argument, we have write true. Lastly, for perform a curl session, here we have write $received data variable is equal to curl execute function with $start process variable. This function will perform curl session and store data in $received data variable. After this, we want to convert JSON data into PHP array. So here we have write $final response variable is equal to JSON decode function with 2 argument. In first argument, we have write $receive data variable, and in second argument, we have write true. Now we have write if statement, and under condition, we have write $final response with success key variable. So suppose this variable value is set, that means user has give correct answer of Google reCAPTCHA validation, and it will execute if block of code. But suppose user has not give proper answer, then it will execute else block of code, and here we have write $this with session object with set flash data method with 2 argument. In first argument, we have write message variable name, and in second argument, we have write validation fail try again. So here we have stored this text in session message variable. After this, we have write redirect function, and under this we have write Captcha, so it will redirect page to index method of Captcha class. But suppose user has enter correct Captcha answer, then it will execute if block of code, and here we have write $store data variable is equal to array. In first key, we have write first name, and in value, we have store first name form data. In second key, we have write last name, and in value, we have store last name form data. In third key, we have write age, and in value, we have store age form data. And in last key, we have write gender, and in value, we have store gender form data. So this way, we have store form data under this $store data variable. For insert data, first we have go to Captcha model.php class, and here we have make insert method with $data as argument. Under this method, we have write $this with database object with insert method with 2 argument. In first argument, we have write table name sample data, and in second argument, we have write $data variable. So this method will insert data into sample data table. Now, we have go to Captcha.php controller class, and here we have write $this with Captcha model with insert method, and under this, we have write $store data variable. This code will insert form data into sample data table. For display success message, here we have write $this with session object with set flash data method with 2 argument. In first argument, we have write success message, and in second argument, we have write data stored successfully. So here we have store success message under this session variable. After this, we have write redirect method, and under this, we have write Captcha, so it will redirect web page to index method of Captcha class, and it will display success message. Lastly, we want to display success or validation error. We have go to captcha.php file, and here we have write if statement, and under condition, we have write $this with session with flash data method with message. If this condition true, then it will execute if block of code. And under this block, we have write echo statement with $this with session object with flash data method, and under this, we have write message, so it will display validation error on web page. And same way for display success message, here we have write if statement, and under condition, we have write $this with session object with flash data method, and under this method, we have write success message. If this condition true, then it will execute if block of code. Under this block, we have write echo statement, and under condition, we have write echo statement with $this with session object with flash data method, and under this, we have write success message, so it will display success message on web page. So here our code is ready. Now we have check output in browser. Friends, here in URL we have enter base URL of our Codeigniter application, and then after we have write /captcha, so on web page, we can see simple form, and at the end of form, we can see Google reCAPTCHA widget before submit button. First we want to check without re-attending reCAPTCHA form data has been submitted or not, so we have filled this form with data, and directly click on submit button, without attend Google reCAPTCHA verification. After click on submit button, here on web page, we can see that validation error message like validation failed, try again, so here it is confirmed that, without attending Google reCAPTCHA verification, we cannot submit form data. So again, we have fill form data with data, and then after we have click on Google reCAPTCHA checkbox, and after click on checkbox, we can see it has asked for this question. But now we have select drawing answer, and click on submit button, and after click on submit button, here on web page, we can see validation error message like validation failed, try again. So for submit form data, we have to select correct Google reCAPTCHA option. So again we have fill form with data, and after fill form data, we have click on Google reCAPTCHA checkbox. After click on checkbox, so again ask question for select this item. So now we have select proper item. After selecting proper item, here in Google reCAPTCHA widget, correct icon has been appear. That means user has give correct answer of Google reCAPTCHA question, and now we have click on submit button. After click on submit button, here we can see success message like data stored successfully on web page. So after correctly verify Google reCAPTCHA verification, we can submit form and store or insert data into MySQL database. So friends, in this video tutorial, we have learned how to integrate Google reCAPTCHA into Codeigniter framework, and we have successfully created form for showing CAPTCHA validation, and after successfully validation a Google CAPTCHA, we have stored data into MySQL table. Lastly, if you have any query or inputs regarding this tutorial, you can ask your query in comment box. If you have liked this video, please share with your friends, or even you can also share on social media also. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe our channel for future video tutorial.